Since the beginning of Call of Duty, or well, mainstream Call of Duty multiplayer, there's pretty much been a really good 3-burst gun in, I would say, pretty much every game. In my first Call of Duty multiplayer, which was Call of Duty 4 back in like 2008, it was the M16, and that thing was unbelievable. And I still remember to this day running about, and for some reason I always think of the bog map. We running about with an M16, red tiger camo, and just dropping helicopters because that was the best kill streak in the game. Of course, that wasn't the only 3-burst weapon. I also remember Modern Warfare 2 where you had the FAMAS and the M16. You had the generational debate whether which one was the best, and I was always a FAMAS type of guy, and I do think the FAMAS from Modern Warfare 2 is my favourite 3-burst ever. See the smoke in this game, you lose so much aim assist, like look at this. That was almost really bad though, but I did get him. But the point is, there's always been a lot of 3-burst weapons in Call of Duty, and I would actually be interested down below if you would let me know what your favourite is. A few more honourable mentions would probably be the M8A1 from Black Ops 2 and the Type 95 from Modern Warfare 3. Two more incredible guns. And of course, Black Ops 6 does already have a 3-burst rifle, which is the AEK, which comes under the category of a marksman rifles. But I have tried to use this, and it seems like one of the guns that when I come up against it absolutely fries me. But whenever I use it, it just lacks mobility for me to be able to run about and like have fun, to be honest. But recently that changed, and that was with the Hitlist event, which came out I think in early December, which they released the attachment for the XM4, which was already a really good assault rifle, but this attachment basically turns it into a different gun, giving it a 3-round burst. So of course, with my previous experience of absolutely loving burst weapons in old CODs, I had to give it a go. And to be honest, it wasn't smooth. And by that, I mean at the start, I was kind of getting wrecked. But I persevered, and it was kind of motivated by the fact that I didn't want to go back to the dark matter grind. Yep, I'm still doing that, okay. I'm a 9-to-5 gamer, give me some time. But with some perseverance, I managed to find a build that makes this gun usable and quite a bit of fun. Which is something that people kind of forget about sometimes in Black Ops 6 multiplayer. Like, it's all good to sweat and go for nukes, try and get camos, but it's nice to have fun and like use fun builds. And this M16 with a 3-burst is definitely one of those. So in this video, I'm going to give you the setup that I use for most of the games, which will hopefully help you do this.
Honestly.
And help you skip that painful testing experience that I have and give the pain to the other team instead. So, into the build. I have got Red Tiger on. It doesn't give you any bonuses, although there is a secret nostalgia bonus, which helps you 1-burst more enemies, I swear to God. But, of course, you've got the Fire mod, which is a 3-round burst, which means that it automatically takes one of the attachment slots. So realistically, you've only got 4 attachments to play with in this build. So I chose the Commando Grip, which gives me a nice bonus of aim down sight and sprint to fire, which makes this gun more flexible, allowing you to run about, which was the main purpose, because otherwise you're just using the marksman rifle. And then on for long barrel, you've got the highest damage range. I know reinforce also gives you damage range and velocity, but I think increasing your damage range as much as you can to give you more 3-bursts is the way to go. And then for the muzzle, I've went for Old Faithful ported compensator, giving you first shot recoil control and vertical, as the only thing this gun tends to do is kind of go upwards, and this reduces that as much as possible. And for sight, always just use whatever your preference is, although Kepler Micro Reflex is the correct answer here. Any other opinions, fight me in the comments. So that's the build. It is slightly more complicated this time, as when you pick the attachment it means that automatically you've only got 4 to use, unless you use the gunfighter perk, which gives you a whole abundance of attachments. But in my opinion, it's not really worth it, because the difference of the added attachments on top of my build really is minimal. But it is something you can try out, and it is personal preference at the end of the day. Although I did use this gun for quite a while, because as I said again, I do love my 3-bursts. And this is what I settled on to make the gun at least fun and enjoyable. Disclaimer though, it doesn't 1-burst like most of the time. You're not going to get a 1-burst. I think you kind of need to hit a headshot in the spray for it to be a 1-burst at all, at any range. So don't be surprised that it doesn't kill as quick as guns in the past. It's not really what this gun's about. It's not really what you're looking for with this gun. I know 3-bursts are extremely overpowered whenever they just 1-burst people. But this gun is slightly more of just a flexible look at a burst weapon in this game, because the AEK is going to 1-burst people a lot more, although if you use that gun you feel like a statue, you're just stiff as hell with it. So I'm not going to lie to you and say that the M16 is meta, because it's not. You're still going to get gunned by guns like the Krig, but it's just something you want to like jump about, fly about and hit some bursts with, because it's just an incredibly satisfying gun to use. And I said before, increase your repertoire of guns and you're less likely to get bored with the game. If you're grinding the max prestige, you want to give yourself as many options to play as possible. Keep it fresh and keep it enjoyable.
sniper shooting.
Ready for launch.
This is probably one of my nicest clips with the gun. I run up behind two boys here. We just captured the headquarters. Most of our team's dying, so I know I'm one of the last ones left. And if you watch my other videos, you know I'm a headquarters grinder. So I get set up. I know they're all coming for me, and I try and fight off the horde.
A mile away from the...
But of course, there's a sniper in the window, and they're always a sniper whenever you don't want her to be. So he ends my nice little streak, but it was a nice little show of how if you keep moving with this gun, which the attachments allow you to do, you can wreck some people, even if it's not exactly meta. And speaking of sniping, I know in the next update they're bringing out the 50 cal, so if you hit the subscribe button, I will definitely be making a video on that, because that is another classic old school gun that everybody loves. But in all seriousness, all fun aside, the M16, in terms of a tier list of burst weapons, it's not going to be that high. I think I would probably put it as like a C, maybe a B at a push. It's just not reliable, and sometimes when you think it should one burst, it doesn't. Like that guy in the stairs probably should have died in one burst. But then other times it'll pull you out of some easy situations by giving you a lucky one burst. So in that way, it's quite fun, unpredictable. It's something I'd actually quite like to use in Warzone. I'm not really sure how burst weapons go in Warzone. I'm not really up to date with the Warzone meta. I never really have been, but it is something I want to try in the future. Once I get Dark Matter clamoured out, it is the holidays now, so hopefully I get more time to play and get closer to Dark Matter. But sometimes it's nice to take a little break from that grind, because at the minute I'm trying to do the second shotgun, and it's just in that mosh pit game mode on the really small maps, and it's just giving me an absolute headache doing it. So this was a breath of fresh air, and I hope it's a setup that you do try. And if you do try it, let me know down below how it goes. How do you like it? Does it stack up to other M16s or other 3 bursts in the past? And that's it. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and a subscribe and a like would go a long way. Videos have been going well recently, and I am enjoying it. Merry Christmas if I don't post before that, but I'm out.